This video is on the WordPress plugin. Now you've probably heard the phrase, well, there's an app for that. Well, the same thing pretty much applies to plugins. If you want to do something with WordPress and it's not already built into WordPress, well, there's probably a plugin for that. If we head on over to wordpress.org/plugins, you'll see that at the time of this recording, there's over 45,000 plugins with over 1 billion downloads. And all of these plugins are free. There are even more plugins outside of the WordPress plugin directory that you need to pay for, so you have lots of choices when it comes to adding functionality to your WordPress site with plugins. Now, one thing I need to mention about getting free plugins is that for a plugin to be listed here on WordPress's plugin directory, it needs to pass certain quality control tests that free plugins not listed in the WordPress plugin directory may not be able to pass. Like being free of viruses and malware. So if you're looking at a free plugin that is not listed in the WordPress plugin directory and you don't know the reputation of the plugin creator, then my suggestion is just don't install it. And if you just absolutely have to have it, then try it first in a test site and not on your working site. Now, that being said, even the plugins here within the WordPress plugin directory are not always a good fit for your particular site. And a few of the things to look for to see if it is a good fit with your site are things like the number of positive ratings, the number of active installs, when was it last updated, and is it compatible with your particular version of WordPress. Now, one last thing before I jump over to our admin dashboard and install a couple of plugins just to kind of walk you through the process. I want to mention that if you've not yet done so, you ought to sign up for a free account here at WordPress.org, because one of the benefits of having a free account here at WordPress.org is the ability to add plugins to a favorites list, right here, for example. And if I were logged in, then this would be displaying all the plugins that I've favorited. Let's come on back here to featured. For example, if I were logged in and if I were checking out BuddyPress, right underneath the download button would be a little heart icon that if I clicked on that, it would save it to my favorites list. So remember that. Whenever you come on over to my admin dashboard area and come on over here to plugins and go to installed plugins. Well, this is our plugin management panel where we can get a description of all the installed plugins, even if they're not activated. You can use the search box up here, and don't worry, I haven't forgot about the favorited thing. I'll get to that in just a second. But you can just use the search box up here. If you've got a whole bunch of plugins installed, you can use the search box to find one. Over here, you've got a list of all the plugins that are installed, and of those, which are active, which are inactive. And if you have some of these installed plugins that have updates available, you'll see another link off to the side here that say updates with a number in parentheses of how many of those plugins have available updates. You also have bulk actions. I know a lot of this stuff looks familiar, just like you'll see on the post or page management panel. But one thing I want to mention here is that if you've got plugins that are not activated, and you'll see the difference here, this one is active because the link here says deactivate, and this one says activate. If you've got plugins that are installed and that installed plugin, even though it's not active, if that plugin has some type of a security issue, hackers can still take advantage of that security issue on that plugin because it's installed on your site, even though it may not be activated. My point is, if you've got plugins installed that are not being used, delete them. You can always come back later and reinstall them whenever you're ready to put them to use. Okay, now as far as adding new plugins, let's go ahead and check out the Add New button up here. And here's the favorites link. See, told you I'd get around to that again. If you wanted to install plugins that are on your favorites list, just click on Favorites here. Just enter your WordPress.org username in this box, and then all of your favorited plugins will be displayed here. Can't get any easier than that to install plugins that you are already familiar and are loving. Let's come on back to featured, and popular and recommended will also display plugins that, you guessed it, are popular and are recommended through WordPress.org. You can also upload a plugin from your computer that's in a zipped format. So if you've purchased a plugin or downloaded one of those free plugins from the internet, make sure that it's zipped up, click on Upload Plugin, and you'll be able to install it that way as well. And you see you've got the same descriptions available to you here as are available to you on the WordPress.org site, so you can determine if you've got similar plugins that have the same functionality you're wanting to add to your site, but one of them has a lot more positive reviews than the other one. Well, that should help you answer your question, which one do I install on my site? You can also click on more details here, and it'll pull in information from wordpress.org for things like screenshots, changelog, frequently asked questions, and so on. Let's go and get out of here. Now then, I want to go ahead and install that Tiny MCE Advanced plugin I was talking about in a prior video to add more functionality to our post and page editors formatting toolbar. And I believe that is under popular. Of course, you could always do a search plugins right here. But yep, right there it is, Tiny MCE Advanced. Go and click on Install Now and activate. And while we're here, let's go on down here to Settings. And I'm not going to go into a full-blown tutorial on the plugin, but just to show you, I'm going to drag this up here, drag this up here. Oh, let's drag that down there, and then click on Save Changes. And by the way, if we scroll down, you can see there's a lot more customization you can do to this plugin that will add even more functionality to your page and post editors. And if we come on up here to Pages and Add New, and you'll get the same thing on the post editor as well. And one last plugin I want to install, go to Add New Plugins, and that's for a Contact Us form. So type in Contact Form 7. That's the one I'm looking for right there. Click on Install Now and activate. And you can either go to Settings here or up here under Contact. In the flyout, just click on Contact Forms, and then come on down here to the shortcode. Just click on that, right click, and copy that to your clipboard. Now we need to create a Contact Us page. So let's come on up here to Pages, Add New. I mean, this plugin offers so many features, I could do an entire series of videos just on it. And who knows, maybe I'll do that later. So give this a title, and while in the Visual tab, go on down here and paste that shortcode and publish. And let's go ahead and have a look at this in our browser, and there you go. That's our Contact Us form. Now before I close out the video, I do want to mention that if you've got a feature that you're looking for in your WordPress site, and you're just not sure which plugin might add that feature, well, you might want to do some Google searching. Or you might even hit up Facebook and search for a group that deals specifically with WordPress plugins. Then just post your question to that group and see what kind of results you might get. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on WordPress plugins. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.